Okay, go ahead, explain to the camera what we're doing.
All right, so today we're gonna have a fun the pizza review. This is burger review. So what we're about to do is we're about to do a fun little game here with my friend Ben Kane, who just came in from PricePlow, called Burger Review, and we will be pitting against five different categories of burgers. We're gonna be checking out In-N-Out versus Five Guys versus Smash Burger versus a little local joint here called Tornado Burger and the Whataburger. And we're gonna put all these 5 different burgers against each other. Wait, yeah, that is 5. I'm just making sure I can still math right. But anyway, we're gonna be taking a quarter burger. We only ordered a few. We didn't, one bite, everybody knows the rules.
One bite, everybody knows the rules.
We're gonna rate these things on a 1 to 10 scale, and we're gonna find out who the best burger in this area of Houston is. And we're also going to be conveniently taking these nice little yellow capsules called Cheat, and this is our GDA. So whenever you're about to go eat a whole ton of burgers and make some bad decisions, take you some Cheat. First of all, I'm kind of bummed that I just ate 6 Cheat. One, it was hard to swallow 6 pills at one time. The other thing is my blood glucose will soon be crashing within about 60 minutes. That's because the gastric transit time needed for these DR capsules, in case you're wondering, this is also brought to you by Rays Apollo Energy. Get your Apollo Special Edition Rays at your local stores now. But the DR caps take about 60 minutes to actually get through your gastrointestinal tract. Once they're in your small intestine, they're gonna break open because of the microflora that populate your small intestine will break that capsule open, deploying its contents, and finally eliciting its effect. Now there's things in here like berberine and chromium and all kinds of stuff that'll make you kind of go, whoa, really quick. So once that energy level goes down, you know it's in your system, so it's time to eat.
All right, so we ordered all the burgers. They should be here in about, what, 30 minutes? We get back down, we get to work.
All right.
1 hour later.
All right, so it's been an hour. We have some burgers coming in to sit down and have. I got some questions while we're eating. You guys can rate them. I'm gonna ask them awkwardly while you're eating them, and we're gonna have some fun with it.
All right, cool, let's do it.
All right, first burger up. So go ahead.
And there are
Can
3
we
pieces.
can we cut this one unless I'm not eating a whole half a burger?
Do I need to wait? Because I'm fucking hungry as shit.
Yeah, me too. But
I've made a mess, Michael.
all right, so Michael and Joey, can you tell me the earliest ideation of Glaxon? Where was the first spark that came for Glaxon, and how it started?
Maybe late last spring.
And we just decided we were gonna make some sort of an in-house brand that was just gonna play in the main realm of sports nutrition.
So you didn't have any kind of differentiate, like the craziness that it is now to now. You didn't think of that right off the bat.
No.
Okay.
No. It like evolved into. I think we had a little bit of a cocky, like, take on like, okay, cool, we can just make like a basic wholesale brand and just like do really well, and then we'll build on that and like sharpen our skills and stuff. And then as we got into it, we just couldn't help ourselves from like holding back, and then it just turned into this like.
I don't know if I like the sauce on this.
I have an idea of which one this is.
I mean, it's good.
It's good, but I have a feeling if we went with the secret menu on this one, it would have been better, right? Yeah. This is In-N-Out. Souls of Yeezys.
It's a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I would give it a 7 out of 10.
I think you guys are too generous.
Yeah.
I'm giving this a
Those are Bush League
4.5.
numbers. You gotta give them
All
like.
right, fine. Let's call it a 5 then.
No, you gotta give
See,
them
like-
quarter numbers, like a ratio.
0 is dissatisfied, 10 is satisfied, and 5 is neutral.
He's right, because I don't eat anything less than 5.
Yeah. This
So
is
this is a 7.
This is a 7 to me in that
Okay,
ratio.
but let's say you eat.
I will eat some
Let's
shit.
say all 5 are 7s. You gotta break it up more like 7.1, 7.2.
All right, well then it's hard to say what that is right now, but this is a flat 7.
Yeah.
I would not seek this burger out in nature.
I
I would never hunt this burger down for my own enjoyment.
I would eat this burger often if it was available and easy, but it's
If you
not the
could
best.
proverbially get In-N-Out quickly, you would eat this often. Okay.
Yeah,
It
but
takes like
4.5.
30 minutes.
Yeah, I heard it wasn't an
4.5.
In-N-Out
I'll eat it
experience
anyway.
today.
He had to
Okay.
wait in line for it. That's why it's probably 4.5.
So 4.5.
Okay, so what you said at the end kind of brings me to my next question. You said that it's hard for you to hold yourself back as you go into it. So you guys, especially like looking at your supplement lab videos, it seems like you guys have a very hard time not flexing. Is that how you find whenever you're working with brands, whenever you're coming out with anything, it's hard for you to not like put that extra mile into it?
It's very difficult to not put that extra mile in.
Yeah, and it's a complicated like thing to describe because like the way you're saying it isn't exactly what happens.
Yeah.
Once you get into like the real layers of it, you end up in situations where like you're flexing and no one will ever see those flexes because it takes so much time and creative energy to position a formula and a product and a flavor and then like hit a price target and then get a distribution agreement and then like get it out there so that like people can really enjoy your hard work. Yeah, with other people's formulas and stuff like that. If you're talking about contract manufacturing wise, most of the time, unless it's like a seasoned, someone who's really well seasoned and has like a successful item, we're probably trying to dial them back to reality because I think there's just until you get behind the curtain, it's difficult to tell like what's gonna work, what's gonna flavor, how much something really costs. You know.
Cool. All right, let's bring up number 2.
Well, this one looks interesting.
Yeah, that one
I
looks
eat a lot of
smashed.
these. All right.
Are those cucumbers or pickles on that?
Pickles, but they're lightly pickled, so they're kind of half cucumber, half pickle.
Look at this. There's still blood in here. I like that. These guys are losing me way too hard on the sauce. Again.
I would give this, honestly, I'd give this like a 7.8. It's much better than the last one, which hurts me to say because I'm an East Coaster and I can't have the last one all the time, which usually makes me rate it higher usually, but
It's a more expensive burger.
yeah.
I do appreciate the fresh produce in here. Mm-hmm. Very leafy, very aromatic.
I'll give it a 7.4.
I'm giving this a modest 6.5. Sauce killed it for me.
So we talked a lot about the mold that you're breaking last night and this morning. So when you're talking about dialing things back and finding the right price point and stuff, is that what you mean by the mold that you're breaking?
I think that the exposure is the goal. Like, if you're going to do something really cool, you want as many people to experience that as possible. Otherwise, I forget what like the proverb or the quote is, but it's like, you know, happiness is nothing unless it's shared. So like we're like put all this time and energy into something. Like we want exposure, we want people to see it and appreciate it, and we want to know that and validate, like be validated. So I suppose the mold that we're breaking is like when we hit the market, we didn't really anticipate the reception, which has been amazing, and like the wholesale partners and like their reception of our product has been good, and it's grown the brand for us. But like at the same time, we realized there was hurdles and refinements that like we needed to make or wanted to make. There's a lot of consumer feedback and things like that we wanted to address, and so it's like to get the brand to where we like really are comfortable to like put it out there. Like there's just things that we wanted to check off for people,
for sure.
Things that we wouldn't have known otherwise, you know, without this initial run of it.
Well, it's got to be fun because you have a background in contract manufacturing. You've helped other people scale and stuff.
Sure.
Joey and TK have already been at scale. Yeah. And so I'm sure that you guys have earned certain regrets and seen certain things. I'm sure you guys have had a past where you wanted to do things differently and you get to do it now.
Yeah.
You get to be in the light with a brand that you haven't done before. Mm-hmm. They get to do things their right way.
Sure.
It's got to be really exciting to break that mold.
It is.
To do across the board like improvements in formulas as you're getting this mainstream distribution is usually like not something that you see. And you know, most of the time when people achieve like larger distribution channels, you'll find that there are always compromises to be made, especially when you're regarding like international versions of the formulas. So, you know, where you can look at opportunities there is how now with these new restrictions can you make these things better? And I think that's something that we've really tried to do. And in this version, you know, where our more widely acceptable and available products are actually more efficacious in the first round. And we didn't really use that many like, you know, ingredients that were close to the gray area because they're legal in the United States but not legal in other countries, or in some cases like niacin, for example, in the United States, like it's it's just a supplement, but in other countries it can be considered a drug, and the dose that you have it at. So, you know, we've had to make some shifts in regard to that, but still, like, these new formulas that are coming to market in this much wider distribution channel, like, actually being better, that's the real mold that's trying to be broken right here.
Because it's kind of funny, because in my past in brands, the second I got into large distribution, people were like, you know what, they're going to sell out, they're going to pull out the good stuff. And it's kind of funny because you guys aren't loud about your distribution, but we talk, and I know that you guys have gone into like overseas, and you're growing, and there's certain opportunities in terms of distribution. Europa just last week was announced. So now, right after you announced Europa, and there's all this distribution going on, all of a sudden you're like, wait, we're going to change all the products. So I'm sure everyone expects everything's going to be cheaper, specimen's going to be it's not going to be labeled.
It's actually more expensive for us.
Yeah.
All of the changes, first and foremost, are from consumer feedback.
Cool.
And our own feedback, and using the products and mixing them together and things like that. Then there's issues of continuity, flavor, and compliance tweaks that like allow us to enter larger distribution. And you know, then those are days where like Joey's throwing all his stuff at the wall, being like, well, like, how am I supposed to do this if you're gonna like limit like what I can do here? And it's like, well, we just have to be more creative, or we're gonna end up being sellouts. You know, and so we either own that, we either own that process, or we don't, right? So like, this is just a very overt like attempt by us to like own the mold of a brand that can be sold everywhere, but also like maintain everything that we had when we started.
Cool. All right.
This one's got a sesame seed bun, not seen in the previous burgers. I do like,
But there's less produce. It's in there. But
this looks like the dingiest of burgers right here.
But it has the most meat for sure.
I dig that. I got half of it falling out. Now, one of the things I find to be a problem, like the guy who works at McDonald's or whoever this is, like, how hard is it to line it all up? To line all the pieces up so I don't end up with this kind of shit right here.
We've talked about how you guys have brought previous experience into the project. With all of that experience, all those years, what's something that you learned through the process of Glaxon that you couldn't have learned in your previous experiences? Like the biggest thing you've learned, the biggest lesson.
Sometimes other people that you may source something out to are not doing it better than you are. And when you find that out and you make some pivots in what you're doing, find out like some of that like outsourcing contracty kind of stuff is never even worth it. And you know, being our own manufacturer, you know, we like toyed with some of that regarding a couple of different things, and it was just not really worth our time.
It sucks to deal with contract manufacturers. Not all of them, but like there's a specific instance I know that Joey's talking about, because there's a specific thing that might be coming that we don't have the capability for here. It's not the protein. Something we haven't even talked about, but
a very intelligent man named Thanos said, if you want something right, you got to do it yourself.
Fine. I'll do it myself.
Yeah, well, he ended up wiping out half the population. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with like food science and like the corporate level, but there's like a certain amount of palatability and stuff melting in your mouth, and I feel like this burger is the perfect example. If I put it in my mouth, and I'm pretty sure
it's looking, but it might have the best flavor.
I think I could swallow this without even chewing it. Like it would just melt in my mouth.
I kind of like that.
Yeah, it feels
just
good. It tastes
turns
good.
into this mushy amalgamation. Like when it comes to the fast food factor of burgers,
But this is like the local place. It's not a chain. I'm guessing.
This is Five Guys.
Is it Five
I
Guys?
eat way too many burgers.
Okay, yeah, I haven't been at Five Guys in forever.
The sesame seeds gave it away.
8.9.
That honestly,
I would give that one like a 7-8.
that was like
The
an
best
8.
one so far.
That was like an 8.8 for me.
Yeah.
That was really
it's also
enjoyable.
not fair because it's a more expensive burger.
Yes, that was really enjoyable. I could also eat like 4 of those.
Yeah, they melt in your mouth.
You know, yeah, like they just go down so easily.
The what I've had to learn the most about is the least sexy things about growing a brand and how they're more important than everything else. Guys like Mark Rose.
Yeah. All right, so
This is the local place.
yeah, and in local faction,
Look at that bun.
I'm going to talk about something really acute, but I think it was really important for 2020. 2020, you guys launched Serenity, which is, I don't want to assert what your numbers were on it, but from the outside, it looked to be one of your most successful launches, one of your most successful SKUs, and it's something that really no one else is really quite doing in the way that you did it. I hear there's an interesting story behind it. Overall, I think the product is very unique on its own. Could you tell me a little bit about how that came to be?
I think it really started us drooling over, phosphatidylserine.
Yeah, so like early first quarter this year, I had this like weird obsession with phosphatidylserine. So I'd come in the lab and I'd be like, hey, like give me some phosphatidylserine. So we were just like playing with it, and then like started like taking it every day, and like kind of just noticing like how awesome that was. It's a very, very, very expensive raw material. Like
That's part of the allure is how expensive it is.
Yeah, to dose it properly, like it's dollars a unit, you know?
Yeah.
It's a bold move.
This was more about getting phosphatidylserine into a product than it was addressing a problem.
No. It started with my interest our interest in phosphatidylserine, and then it morphed into like, okay, cool, because most of our products start with our interest somewhere. Mm-hmm. Okay, and then we're like, all right, cool, let's build a product out of this. Get into coronavirus season, and it's like, okay, everyone's just like banging out like immune products, and then I was like, hey, well, let's drop the stress product now. Like, what's a better time? Like, liquor sales are through the roof. Like, people are at home. People need an affordable or like a semi-affordable way to de-stress, and that's like healthy, and like this also doubles over for sports nutrition. Like it's a great product.
Yeah.
And so we did that.
And also there's a little bit of an immunity edge to it too.
Then the marketing for the product was like totally out there. You know, like it's
Feel good.
The label, the theme of the label is like not aggressive, not hardcore, not sports supplements. I mean, it's
Kind
a
of-
woman dancing in a field in a mountain, you know,
Yeah.
like
When I heard
Under
this,
the
I was
oppression
like,
of Nazis.
either commit to this 100% or not at all. And we just went all in on it, and the hills were alive, and it was great.
this is the worst one for me.
Yeah, I love the quality of the bun, but the burgers are so well done. I hate it.
Yeah, so it could be that I'm getting like more
It has an interesting
satiated,
texture.
but this is like a 6.
6, 7.
This is like a 5.
This is like an airport burger.
This is like a 5-4 for
airport
me.
burger.
This is like slightly above edible. I would not go out of my way for it.
It tastes like the meat might be dark.
Well, so okay. Last question here for the last burger. You guys teased season 2 this morning. We put up the video. What's the biggest like statement you have coming in season 2? What's the biggest like? I don't know if it's your most excited thing or the thing you want to get most across. Like when I just say season 2 to you, what's the first sentence that pops into your head?
The message to our wholesale partners is that we're listening.
And our customers.
Same thing. Our customers,
Your whole community.
our entire fan base, anyone who like consumes our products,
Yeah.
like we've been listening.
Well,
We're
like,
bigger critics than anyone.
There's
There's
actually-
things that we didn't like that we wanted to fix now before we really push on the gas pedal with this brand.
Yeah.
And so the biggest thing is the fact that we've touched everything we have. The most exciting thing for me is probably stuff that we haven't released yet that no one even knows about, that didn't get touched because it didn't exist yet. Like things like that will be the most exciting, just to watch people like
what it is for
consume
me,
the
too.
protein for the first time. Things like that will be really cool. There's certain products that I really always believed in, and I don't think they got as much traction. And there's like tweaks that we made so that like they might get more. And so I'm just like really anxious for that kind of reception. But if there's like, it's hard to say that there's one thing. I think it's just too many touch points.
Earlier we were talking about who Glaxon is, and obviously like it's you, it's Joey. I heard it's
No,
even
it's me.
TK.
It's been Blair before too.
But I think that this move is a cool embodiment of the message that Glaxon is everyone that's involved with the community, because anyone who's had feedback, it seems to be listened to here, right?
Anyone who's willing to involve themselves with the brand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, what's your number for this last mustard and?
Well, it's not fair because it's cold and it's last. And I know what this tastes like when it's not cold.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm gonna
Sometimes I do flavor-
Probably gonna bow out of this one because what I would say right now isn't real.
Sometimes I do flavor reviews, and it's like a protein that is so bizarre and weird of a flavor that like I enjoy it in the moment, but when I realize that a consumer that's gonna buy this 2 pounds of protein is gonna have to eat it for the next 30 days, and I think there's no way I could fucking do that. That's how I feel about this burger. Every here and there I'd be like, you know what?
You're
I
the
want-
pina colada protein of burgers.
Yeah. Like sometimes I want that. Sometimes that's good, but if you told me I had to have this burger for the rest of all my burger days of my life, I'd be kind
We
of
just had
upset.
a couple other gems that were quite impressive.
I
Yeah.
know that I prefer this burger hot and fresh over everything we just ate. But
That's
right
fair.
now, I don't. Give it a 7.5 for right now.
I give it a 7.5 cold, but I do know that I would give that like a 9.2 if it was hot.
Well, I'll drive you through it before you leave.
The first time I came to Austin,
It's
after
better
I-
than In-N-Out, which is the dispute that is the dispute.
The first time I came to Austin for work, Mike dropped me off at the airport and my flight got delayed until the next morning. And he was too far away from the airport to go back, so I got a hotel. And that night I went and got In-N-Out and Whataburger and I ate them together.
Oh no shit.
And I preferred Whataburger.
Yeah.
Whataburger for sure.
But it's for me.
It's a bigger burger. It's more expensive. It's not really a fair comparison.
But for me, I'm East Coast, so anytime I go to Scottsdale, Phoenix, California, like In-N-Out is in the heat, it's in Vegas, you know, you're drunk, you're having fun with your friends.
Yeah.
It's the experience of being in that area. You guys can get it whenever you want, so it's worth, like the demand is lower.
Well, it's recently that it's here in Houston. Like
I remember.
7 months ago or something.
So I remember Sam being in the drive-thru with you,
Yeah,
or
whatever,
someone,
yeah.
and he was like flipping out.
Better than Whataburger. No, it's
But it
not.
took forever, I remember.
Yeah.
All right, well, that is Mystical Mornings with Glaxon.
Burger review.
Burger review.
Hot burgers.
With 1 quarter, everyone knows the rules. How many other taglines can we put on here? Thanks guys for watching.
Let's fucking go.
Welcome to PricePlow.